gotta scratch my nose really quick. Oh, I'll get all up in there. Okay. Nate, don't put that in there. Definitely cut that out. Anyways, sorry, the introduction. What is going on, everybody? It's a sweet, wonderful, lovely boy, Yammie Noob, back at it here once again, providing you some motorcycle content. Today's topic, as you saw by the title of the video, maybe you'll think it's a little controversial, maybe you won't. It's going to be a personal one. We're not talking anything bigly related to motorcycles. It's a topic that's going to be, you know, why I want to consider myself a noob forever when it comes to bikes. I've seen some comments lately kind of being like, oh, you know, like you've owned a bunch of different bikes, you've been riding for a while, why do you still have the channel's name as Yammie Noob? And it's because I think that once you decide that you're an expert at anything, I don't know, man, it kind of makes you like closed off to learning and understanding things about what you're doing, you know? And that's not to say that I think everybody who owns a bike needs to treat it like some super serious craft. You know, you gotta, you know, wake up every day and jump on some forums and check out the new tips and tricks and things you need to learn. I think it's totally cool if you want to pick up a bike, you want to learn to ride, you want to understand the basics, and that's it. If you don't want to progress any further than that, that's cool, man. Like, there's no like hard feelings from Yammie Noob to you, the random viewer, about not wanting to be, you know, an extremely good motorcyclist. For me personally, I have sort of an obsessive personality. When I really like something, I really dive really deep into it, right? As some of you guys who follow me on Instagram know, my other really big passion in life is music. I love making music. I've been making it for like 12 years now or something like that. I've played in bands, I've played guitar, I'm currently obsessed with my new synthesizer that I built. It's all really nerdy stuff if you're not into it yourself. But yeah, it's like when I'm really into something, I'm really into it. I really, really like it. I want to learn everything about it. I just want to be the best I can possibly be at it, right? And I apply the same to motorcycling as a lifestyle or a hobby or an activity. I'm not super... Oh, my camera's pointed all the way up. There we go. I just saw that in the mirror. That's hilarious. Well, Nate used the front camera for all of that because the that's really funny. Yeah, man, everything's going wrong with this vlog. The mirrors keeps moving. The camera just shifted. Oh my god. Anyways. God, what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm like extremely interested in the activity of riding a motorcycle. I think there's so much to learn. It's so rewarding, and I never want to assume that I know everything. And I think that by staying in a bit of like a student mentality with something, you can really open yourself up to whatever possibilities come your way. And it's cool because once you find like a thread in something, you might find something you didn't think about originally, but that you do really, really like. A great example of that is actually the Scrambler. So I bought the Scrambler just because I really like the way it looks. Let's be honest. You can watch my full review on this bike and why I bought it and why I love it. I go really, really in depth on everything about this motorcycle. But this is a bike that thankfully and mercifully has some off-roading capabilities, and I knew that when I bought it. But to be honest, I wasn't super interested in those off-roading capabilities it had. I thought that I would maybe throw it down a couple gravel roads, have some fun, go back home. But what it's really done for me is it's opened up an entire new kind of side of motorcycling that I never really thought about, which was like off-roading. And I started doing research about it. I started looking at places that I could ride. I'm now in contact with some forums that I'm going on a ride to Mexico later in October. And had I not been open to those opportunities and experiences, I probably wouldn't have grown more as a motorcyclist, right? Another example of that, my girlfriend also rides bikes, of course, obviously, right? We went out one day and she was like, let's go 2-up. And I was really nervous to go 2-up. But I was like, you know what? Like, even though I'm nervous, I'm going to try this. I'm going to learn it. I got to be good at it because it's going to make me a better rider. And it did. I learned a lot when I went out 2-up, and I learned how to manage weight a little bit better, and I got a little bit better every time. I got to scratch my nose really quick. Oh, I'll get all up in there. Okay. Nate, don't put that in there. Definitely cut that out. As I was saying, you know, 2-up riding really taught me a lot. I'm just really fascinated by how there's really no upper limit to how good you can be at riding a motorcycle. Just like there's no upper limit to how creative you can be when it comes to making tracks, when it comes to making beats or music or whatever you want to call it. There's no amount of effort you can put in that will yield a perfect result. All that's going to happen is you'll keep experimenting and learning and growing and getting better at what you're doing. And, you know, not to get all existential and motivational speechy on you guys, but that's kind of what it's all about. I really think it's all about, you know, the experiences and opportunities that come your way, what you do with them, and how much you grow as a person. The actual act of, like, buying a bike or being a rider is kind of inconsequential. It's sort of secondary. Like, what's interesting is, like, while you're on this journey of doing motorcycle stuff, like, how good can you get? What can you learn? What's it teaching you, you know? Like, a lot of the lessons that motorcycling teaches me applies to all kinds of facets in my life, you know? Like, to ride a motorcycle really proficiently, you have to have an extreme level of sort of stick-to-itiveness, you know? You have to be extremely willing and capable and able to ride a bike quickly or ride it proficiently in whatever sort of category, whoa, my voice, in whatever sort of category you're doing. I think I went through puberty there again. That was unfortunate. I mean, that kind of sums it up. I'm trying to think if there's any other interesting things I could say about this, because I do want it to be a good-sized video. I don't want to just say, like, hey, you know, ride a bike well because it's cool for your life. That sounds a bit silly. The bike that you own as well isn't as important either. Sure, it's really cool to go out and get your dream bike and buy the things you want. I mean, this is coming from the guy who's bought 3 of the same motorcycle because I love them so much, and I bought this expensive Ducati because I just liked it. I really wanted it. But even if you're starting out, you know, I started thinking about this topic a lot when I did my R3 review video, which I believe is gonna come out before this video. I don't know. I don't have my content calendar in front of me right now, so I can't remember when that's coming out versus when this is coming out. But I talked a lot about how the R3 is a wonderful tool to learn all the basics of sport bike riding, if that's like the vein you want to go after in motorcycling. If you're interested in, you know, sport bikes and track days and you want to go fast in a responsible way, like, the R3 is like literally the perfect gateway drug to get started on that stuff and be super, super good. But I think that's something you have to think about too whenever, like, because I know a lot of you guys watching this don't even have a bike yet, so you don't need, like, some of this stuff is really kind of far out and far above to where you are right now. But I would really encourage you to, whenever you do get, you know, a motorcycle, think about what it is you're going to be doing with it, and also think about, or is it getting you to where you want to be, you know? And again, you don't have to take motorcycling as this very serious, borderline obsessive, like, skill-based activity like I do. I just really like it. I really, really think that riding a bike really, really well is one of the most rewarding things ever. You just feel like you're really competent, you know? Like, for me, when you connect, like, all the corners at a track, like, perfectly, every line lines up and you hit every apex and you're throttling out right when you need to, picking the bike up and leaning it in, you just feel like a sort of a master of your domain, I guess. It feels awesome. Much like riding off-road that I'm learning. I'm really, really new to it, but riding off-road makes you feel like, you know, it's like, oh, like, there's this big hill or this big rock or this big ditch, like, can I make it through? And then when you spot it and you make it through, it feels really good to make it through that, you know? Like, I honestly think that's really all, like, motorcycles are. They're just like these machines that are designed to just make you feel good. Like, it's so awesome that they exist, you know? And I just wanted to come across it, like, you know, I know that not everyone that knows about my channel or is even subscribed to my channel is going to watch this video, but I hope that the people who do, I hope it just comes across that, like, I care a lot about motorcycling. I really do. I think it's one of the most fantastic activities that you can interact with and partake in, and it's done so much for my life. You know, YouTube channel notwithstanding, but for me, like, just learning how to ride and you know, learning all about this world of bikes has been so enriching, and it's something I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life, you know. In 30, 40 years from now, I'll look back and be like, damn, I remember when I started riding in those early days, and, you know, how nervous I was, or how scared I was to do this, or what I thought people would think of me. And it's also cool because I kind of have like a record of my whole riding career on YouTube, pretty much. I posted my first video when I owned my R3 for like 3 weeks, and that was my first bike, so I kind of have like a whole, you know, like history of it there, which is super cool as well. Stand up a little and take that bump. So yeah, I care. I just care a lot about motorcycling, man. I think that it's something we have to kind of protect in a way, because it's not that it's under attack. That sounds kind of silly to say, but you know, everything's kind of moving in a direction away from motorcycles, and I think it's something really, really important that we can continue to really take care of, and it'll take care of us. Yeah, that's going to kind of wrap up my thoughts on why I'm going to be a noob forever. I'm never going to be Yammie Pro. I'm always going to be Yammie Noob. So I want to stay humble, and I want to learn as much as I can. And then one day, people ask me, how did I get so good? And I'll just be like that dude at the track that's super fast, and just be like, oh man, I'm not fast. What are you talking about? And everyone's like, dude, everyone knows you're really fast. Just tell us your secrets, you know? That's what I want to be. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up the video. Hope you enjoyed this little cruise on Highway 1431, kind of a scenic drive here in Austin, Texas. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. See you later. Pretty hills. It's the only place in Texas with some elevation.